The following segment is sponsored by Food City.
Welcome into another edition of the Stateline Sports Reporters podcast. Cole Johnson joining me to talk about, well, really the only thing we can talk about right now, which is the Speedway Classic. Cole, you were there the day that they made the announcement just about a year ago. Now the game is finally here. How exciting is this for Bristol?
It's exciting for everyone involved, not just Bristol, but just baseball and racing fans, really. But it's just crazy how fast it's happened. I feel like we went through kind of the motions for a few months of like, oh, what's this going to look like? How's this going to end up? And then it hit summer, June, July, and it felt like it just went like that. I know you guys and we've been going there every couple of weeks. We'll go get an update and see how it's come together, and it's just unbelievable that in a couple of days we're playing ball.
To see the transformation, even though, I mean, we've kind of all taken turns going out there, but on video especially, of this from a race stadium, the last great Coliseum, to a baseball stadium, how do you even describe what's happened? It is like just awe for me. Like, it's just really hard to explain it.
It really is. And I don't know if there's one word that you could think of, it's like, oh boy, I can't even think of one. Because when they made that announcement last year and you're looking at it, they showed kind of where home plate's going to be. And I still, for a while, could not picture
Right.
it. Like, I'm thinking, how far out is the fence going to be? Because it doesn't seem like you could fit a baseball field inside of there. So I just think amazing would be my one word, because when we got to see what it looked like last week when the final stages, I know you saw it firsthand, and then I was like, wow. And that's just from a picture, the video
Right.
you took. I think amazing is just the only thing, because I didn't see this coming. I know they had it all planned out, like they had the blueprint for it, but when you actually see it, I did not see a baseball field fitting in the way they did. I was thinking more, there's just so little of the infield that they're using. You're
Right.
like, that's how big Bristol Motor Speedway is.
Well, the thing for me, I was here for the Battle at Bristol in
Mm.
2016. And the thing that has made this so incredible compared to that is all they did for the Battle of Bristol was there used to be a scoring pylon that was in the middle of the field or in the middle of the infield, which they took out and hung Colossus, which hanging Colossus, I mean, that was cool. But and then they laid a football stadium in the middle of the infield. They built a baseball stadium, like outfield walls and press boxes and stands. And to see that is the thing that just really like takes your breath away. Like, it's really incredible
Yeah.
to see. So from a game standpoint, what are we expecting, right? Because I feel like the Reds and the Braves both are teams that are like, well, on any good night they could beat anyone, but on any good night they could also be terrible. Like,
Yeah.
they played the Royals the last few days, and I kind of wish they hadn't, because it hadn't exactly gone our way. Plus, I can't watch it because it's blacked out here because the Braves are blacked out.
Yeah.
But
That's a whole other
I know it's a whole nother discussion for another day.
blackouts.
But these are two teams that have potential to be really good on any given night. So what are we expecting out of the game?
That's the thing. It's like the that's a team that's probably been the most disappointment in the MLB this season, because it's a team made up of a lot of studs, and this is a team just a couple years removed from a World Series title. They're like 13 games out of the wild card. Like,
Right.
they are fighting every day, where every day is a must win from here on out. The Reds, they're close. They're only 3 games out, so it's a more of a playoff game for Cincinnati because they're so close. I think Braves might be lost. Plus, news that Ronald Acuna Jr. is not going to be playing in this game.
Yeah.
He tweaked his Achilles, apparently. That's tough for the fans who came to see some stars. So a little bit of less star power that we're going to see. But I think in terms of the gameplay, I think it's going to be interesting to see how many. I think I'm excited to see how many long balls we get.
Yeah, because
With
there's a
that
short
fence.
porch,
And we
yeah.
might be see a lot of balls flying out there and landing on the track, on the banks there. So I
Which
think
is
you might
interesting, because
see.
when you talk to the pitchers, like I talked to
Yeah.
Jimmy Gobble
Mhm.
on Monday, and he said that the advantage will actually be with the pitchers, even with the short porch, because the field perception and the reflection off the stands and like all that's just going to be so different for the batters. But I know that's a pitcher talking. I also think that, I mean, some of the studs that are going to be in this
Yeah.
game, that as short as that porch is, they're going to find
Right.
the wall.
I think we'll see a few. That where in that case, if you start getting in that offensive rhythm where a few long balls start flying out of here, it could be one of those high scoring shootouts, which I think would be fantastic for everyone and the fans. So that should be awesome. And like I know you talked to Michael Bourne, former Braves player, a while back, and he was saying, for all the fans, he encourages everyone to get there early and watch batting practice.
Yeah, that's what the show's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be like home run derby, I'm sure.
Yeah, you don't know how the game's going to be, but if you get there for BP.
So you mentioned Bourne. I think one of the other things that's going to be really cool about this game is all the legends that are going to be coming back, like Chipper Jones and Johnny Bench, and just there are going to be a ton of them. From a fan perspective, how cool is it too that this game is kind of bringing back all these legends to the ballpark?
I mean, that's kind of what baseball's all about. It's called America's pastime.
Right.
It's one of the oldest games that's been around, and I know baseball in itself, the sport has had its ups and downs in terms of fans and viewers because of how long it is. You really got to love baseball to sit down and watch baseball. But when you are one of those people, there's nothing like it. Seeing these old timers come back. That's why a lot of teams have the old timers day, and they'll have come back and play some like soft toss baseball for the fans. But just the history, just the iconic faces that stood for these organizations. There's nothing like that. And just to see them come back and be able to live through a moment like this, like we've seen the last few years with MLB doing the Field of Dreams games and Rick Wood, and that's where it all comes together. And then having it be in Bristol and opening up a whole new kind of realm of people, whether it be just race fans or baseball fans that don't really have a team here, but getting that equidistant kind of fanship towards Cincinnati and Atlanta, it's perfect.
Yeah, a couple of the players told me a while back it couldn't have been two other teams. Like just like the Battle of Bristol really had to be Virginia Tech and Tennessee,
Right.
this game really had to be Atlanta and Cincinnati. It's the perfect thing, and that's what makes the folks at BMS, I think, somewhat genius because
Yeah.
they just always seem to get it to work out the perfect pitch, pun intended,
Yeah.
on this. So one of the cool things that I got to do was talk to Johnny Bench, one of the legends that's coming back. So we're going to now play that for you as our Stateline Sit Down. When you first walked into Bristol the first time, I guess back in 2014, what went through your mind? Like, what was the feeling?
You got to be kidding me, because I was in Indianapolis and I've been to Daytona, and it's like, are you serious? I mean, you hear stories about how Talladega, and you hear Bristol, and you hear the things and all. So it was really kind of just a wonderful, I don't know, it wasn't totally a bucket list, but it was something that I really wanted to see. And now to think we're coming here 11 years later, and then they announce not too long ago that there's going to be the MLB Speedway Classic, and so here I am standing in front of this great picture and that they've generated as to what the field might look like. So I just, I get on edge on these things because the fact is that I admire so many of these great athletes driving, and I just sort of like, I don't want anybody to lose, particularly, especially if they're on the lead lap and they've got the lead and they're holding on to it. And I guess I've been there, when it's we lost 2 World Series, and we won 2 World Series, and you feel bad for the other guy, but it's just the excitement of this whole stadium, whole stands, and the people that get so wrapped up in it, and all the thing, the excitement, and it goes from the first lap. It's endless how you can get wrapped up in racing.
When you first heard that they were going to play a baseball game here, what went through your mind?
Yeah, nothing surprises me anymore. I think the Braves and another team I don't know who the other team was, but they played at Fort Bragg. And the Corps of Engineers, this is about 8 or 9 years ago, built a stadium. And it's like they couldn't believe it could happen. But today with AI and with all these, my son's a computer science and engineering major, hopefully. He's the first year, just finishing his first year at college. So the things that they can do and the things that they generated, I got a good friend that's ahead of all the AI for Xerox. And they create stuff before I know they're going to create it, before they know they're going to create it. So to think that, here I am standing here looking at this picture, I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, it's I've got a group of guys, and we go to do these bucket list things. And some of it was to go to the Field of Dreams in Iowa, and we went. They didn't realize, but now they said, what's our next adventure? What's our next adventure? And when they found out about this, I told them about this. We're in. And so we're looking a year ago before we ever did it. So
You mentioned the Field of Dreams. How important are those things, that, the Rickwood Classic, this, for growing the sport of baseball?
Well, I think we need a lot of people. If you get interested in something, then you start attaching yourself to something. And so now with this, they're going to be, these people around here are all baseball fans. They're Braves fans. A lot of them are Reds fans sometimes. But now there's something that comes along. It's a novelty item that says, what is that? Well, that attracts their attention. And so all of a sudden you're starting to watch, you're starting to do it. Okay, the Reds and the Braves are playing. Let me follow the Reds and the Braves a little bit for the summer, and let's see how they're doing. So all of a sudden now they get wrapped up in baseball. So we create new fans. And for the young kids who are starting Little League and travel ball and doing all that stuff, it's kind of fun for them. They're the ones that's getting, this is great. I mean, how can they do that? And for not necessarily you have to be a baseball fan, you can be an architectural fan and think, how in the world can all this be created? But who thought of it? Who came up with this idea? You're wondering, what the heck are they doing? I mean, this is something that's saying, we're going to what? Who, you want to do what? And they wind up here with, let's go to the Bristol and play baseball inside it. Where do you come up with this stuff? This is the most insane stuff in the world. So I'm more worried about those guys and what they're doing and what they're breathing or drinking.
Awesome. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Heather.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you. Thank you.
Sponsored by Food City.